Hi, I'm Mike Miller. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for checking out the videos I do. And so it's like today your teacher's gone and I'm the substitute teacher. So I'll be doing a variety of classes over the years. Okay, and the lesson today will be 18th century British literature. Just what you always wanted to learn more about. But it's a good area to study for sure. And it starts out more or less with John Dryden, and includes Alexander Pope, and then all the way out through Samuel Johnson. And I always teach everything backwards. So Samuel Johnson created the first extensive dictionary, more or less. He spent a lifetime studying words and I guess trying to find the exact best, most extensive, complete meaning of the word, and published his English dictionary of the English language, I think it is, but and he was written about by Boswell. Boswell hung around with him and wrote about Johnson's life, and he lived the life of a creative person pretty much. He was kind of pedantic in his writing, but and study of their lives tells you a lot about how things were in the 18th century, and supposedly they sometimes wore certain clothing for a long period of time when they traveled and hung around and were out just having fun and learning about things. Alexander Pope is famous for writing The Rape of the Lock. This is something about cutting the hair of one of the ladies of royalty at the time. Pope was a very well educated man and highly intelligent. He wrote in classical form. He was very fascinated with the work that was done by the Greeks and the Romans, and so he tried to revive these forms that they had developed. The 18th century British literature is considered a classical period, followed by the Victorian period, and then a Romantic period when we got to Wordsworth and Coleridge. The study of John Dryden is very intense and demanding. It can require knowing a lot about the politics of the era. So, and he was I believe, considered the father of modern literary criticism. He spoke about analyzing poetry. What should poetry be? What should drama be? And things like that. And so, but he wrote about a lot of political things, and it was a very political world back then, and so, and it still is, I guess. And throughout literature, there have been two major kinds of literature that seem to occur: classical and then romantic. Two different cultural periods that seem to follow each other just in cycles, you know. But the first classical period that's generally recognized is was about 1,000 years BC. The Greeks and the Romans, their culture, and Greece had the most advanced theater at the time, and arts. It was like the center of the world in that regard. But the romantic periods of literature have to do more with imagination, whereas classical has more to do with form. Strict structure and form was something that the Greeks and Romans tried to push, you know. And then as we get into the Middle Ages, the medieval period, that's more of a romantic type of thing going on, and the literature returning to the people, more or less, more minstrels carrying the torch and things like that, whereas the classical represents the church music that continued through all the different eras, you know. But the classical eras were more concerned with strict poetic diction, whereas the romantic was more concerned with the dream device and the imagination. The Romantic would be more descriptive of the rural situation. Classical was more like into the urban lifestyle, but the Romantic is more of a rural kind of thing. And so Classicism was based on the intellect, and Romanticism was based on the imagination or emotion.